Yes, welcome back to the Bray and Ethan Podcast, episode 139. As we get our mics sorted, Ethan.
Yeah,
We've, of course, powered by pegs. I'm also going to probably do the same in a second because I've realised it's a bit low.
I don't want it collapsing like it's happened in the past, as I've learned.
100%. We, of course, are powered by pegs. It is not the new student discount platform. It is a platform for everyone now because it is open to the general public. You can get up to 50% off at certain retailers and restaurants and whatnot. I went to Royale's on Friday between work shifts.
Oh, yeah, how was that?
Lovely. Didn't have to eat for the next 2 days because I filled my face.
And you
good.
saved plenty of money as
did.
well. Now, the AFLW, it's well and truly underway. Freo had an excellent win on the road against Port on the time of recording. I guess this will come out after that, hopefully after another win on the weekend. We're lucky enough to be joined by one of their stars, Dana East. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you on. We'll go straight to, I guess, last week. A much-needed response against Port after going down to the other SA side the week before. So how are you feeling now sitting 2-1?
Yeah, it's good start. Unfortunately had the loss against Adelaide, but they're such a well-experienced team, so we kind of expected that heat that they gave us. But yeah, it's good to get a win away. The conditions haven't been really good to start off with, but yeah, to get an 8-point win, that's always good.
As in too hot in Perth, or?
No, it's just always been windy.
Oh, okay,
windy
fair enough.
or raining, but hopefully we get good weather this weekend against Melbourne.
Yeah.
A come from behind win as well when you were down. That's something else. And to win away, I mean, a win away must be extra good.
Yeah, it's always
trip
sets the
home.
vibe. Yeah. A win determines the mood on the way home on the plane. So yeah, it's definitely good to get a win away.
Now, we know that AFLW is becoming more time, but how's your schedule at the moment, when you're at the club, away from the club, and what does a typical week look like, depending if you're playing at home or away?
Yeah, so say if we play at home on a Saturday, we'll always have a day off after the game just to reset and re-watch your game, and you do your self-reflection and you message the coaches on what you think about your own game and the team performance. And then Monday we come in, do our meetings, we do gym, or your recovery, and then Tuesday is usually our main training, and then Thursdays we do the oppo, so we train like the oppo and what we're going to do, and then obviously play either Saturday or Sunday.
And then for you, outside of footy, what does that look like as well at the moment? I noticed you've done some stuff with what ability as well.
Yeah, so I work 2 to 3 days with what ability.
It's a bit
Tongue
of a
twister.
mouthful.
Yeah. And then I'm studying part-time at Curtin Uni doing sport teaching. So, yeah, it's a bit of a
Everyone's
handful.
doing it. I swear, literally, it's obviously a good thing, but it's a popular choice, sport teaching. So it probably works to your schedule as well, though.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you probably implement things from both careers.
Yeah, jam-packed. Well, tell us a bit about your journey, because there's a couple of places in here where I've spent a bit of time and supporting, I guess. So Manjimup to Donnybrook and then Swan Districts as well. Tell us about your upbringing.
Yeah, so I was a basketballer, and I did get offered to go over to the States, but it was during that COVID.
College.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it was during that COVID period in 2019, 2020, and my dad got diagnosed with cancer as well. So I decided to stay home, and they were starting their first junior girls team in Manjimup, and I was still year 12 at the time, so I thought, I'll give this a crack. Played one game and then, just fell in love with it then. And then I went away for Country Week in year 12 for footy, and that's when the State Academy come up to me and asked me to come to a few trainings. And then, I just wanted to stay at home, support the family and work before I moved to Perth. So that's when I decided to play for Donnybrook and travel an hour away. And then, when I decided I wanted to do teaching, I moved to Perth and played for Swan Districts. Yeah.
That's unreal that you pretty much played. We'll get to it, I guess, further a bit later, but like you pretty much played 2 years of footy and then you're on an AFL list. It's crazy to think how quick that turnaround is for some people.
And doing a bit of research for this, saw the AFLW Freo podcast. You did an avocados, came up a lot about that specialty in the family farm. Is that specialty there?
Yeah, so we mainly grow avos, but we have a variety of stuff. We do livestock feijoas, if you know what they are.
No.
Nah. They're kind of like a kiwi fruit
Right.
type lime thing. And then, Dad's built an accommodation down there, so we have people stay on weekends and during the week. So, but mainly avocados.
And how often would you say you head back? Obviously, it's probably tough with the AFLW schedule, but Do you sort of go back off season quite a bit?
Yeah, off season I try and get down most weekends to see the family, and the weather's nice, so like to spend it down there. And if we have an off weekend in the pre-season, I'll obviously go home, so that's nice as well.
Yeah. So basketball was pretty serious for you then, because you didn't pick up a footy until I guess last year of high school, that period there, and had college offers. So point guard, shooting guard, what position would you say you were?
I was a point guard. Yeah.
Playmaker.
Yeah.
So you won the Swan District's Best and Fairest in 2021, which is, again, crazy to think. First you were playing footy the year before, then you win a AFLW Best and Fairest for Swan Districts, and then get picked up with pick 31 in the draft that year, 2021. How do you reflect on that, I guess you could say, breakout year where you obviously made the state academy too?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I didn't really set any expectations with my footy. Like, I just kind of thought, like, what if? So I didn't really put too much pressure on myself. I'd say when I played basketball, I would always put pressure on myself, like, in performance-wise.
Yeah.
But footy, I just, like, enjoyed it. So I just saw where it took me, really. And I didn't really put any expectations on myself or pressure to perform. But I would always think, like, what if I did this? So I would just go with it. So, with Swans and the academy, I'm like, I'll do it while I'm still enjoying it. And then, it just worked out. So...
Would you say...
So what? Hang on, sorry. So footy wasn't your number one priority in 2021?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
was enjoying it more than basketball.
Okay.
But yeah.
Would you say you might have enjoyed it more because it was more of a team sport? Like, basketball is a team sport, but at the same time, it probably is a bit more of an individual sport as well. So did that, I guess, help maybe? It was more of a team sport.
Yeah, I think the culture at footy is so much better. Just pre and after game, you're all together, and so like you can kind of do what you want in the country footy. So that's what I liked about it. And I think, like, in basketball, I played since I was like 5 years old, so I think I like that change as well, and the physicality of the football game.
And then coming into draft night, like, did you think you were a genuine chance? Like, was there sort of a time through the year where, like, I don't know, you were either told or you realised, like, it could happen, or did you sort of come into draft night, you know, hopeful but maybe no real expectations? And then how was draft night?
Yeah, I was so clueless with the whole how the draft worked. Like, I had no idea. I reckon probably a week before the draft, one of my state coaches messaged me, asked me if I nominated. I didn't know how to nominate myself. That's how, like, I was just like, I had no idea. So, so I went to the draft combine. That was a good experience. And you had an interview with West Coast and Freo. And then Freo asked for a second interview. So I didn't really have an expectation that I'd get picked up, because I thought everyone had a second interview with the club, either or. And then, the draft night, my parents just come up and we watched it on TV. And, when my name got called out, I was like, what the hell? Like, what's happened here? I went out for dinner straight after my name got announced, and didn't realise that they come and knock on your door.
Oh, so you went home.
Yeah, so Dale Alcock, he was the president at the time, and he came to my house, and I've just left the house, gone out for dinner, because I didn't know it was, like, how big it was and stuff like that. So I was just so clueless.
Hopefully you were a bit less clueless in the interviews than you were around the draft. Or would you?
Yeah.
Was it intense?
It was intense. I was so nervous. But yeah, I think they really value your personality in those interviews. So I just thought, be yourself, and that's all you can do, really.
Yeah.
What about the transition into the club first few weeks?
I was quiet. I don't think I ever said a word. But I knew of the big dogs of Freo, like Hayley Miller and Kiara Bowers and stuff. So getting put straight into the midfielding training and against them, it was pretty surreal. So, I just remember going up against Turbo my first time and absolutely shitting myself.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that word surreal. Debuting in a derby must have been pretty surreal.
Yeah, I reckon that's been my highlight of AFLW so far. I actually nearly cried running out, but it was a really good moment.
Is that at Freo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately not Optus, because Optus would have been unreal then. But you of course got to play on Optus a handful of times over the last couple of years, I'd imagine. Yeah,
we played against Melbourne, and we had a derby at Optus too. So Yeah.
Unreal experience, I would assume, as well.
Yeah.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Well, you polled coaches' votes in your second game, but then also had a rising star that year as well and hadn't missed a game. What was it like to basically be a regular straight into that midfield in year one?
Yeah, that word again, surreal. I kind of, at training, I would just follow Turbo around, so I'd try and pick up aspects, what she has in her game, and implement them in my game. But, I just kept working on my craft and, kind of went with the flow.
Yeah,
It's working.
To not miss a game though, it's pretty consistent.
It's Harley Reid-esque.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned that derby that kind of answered this question, but yeah, what would you say the most exciting part of your career has been so far, apart from receiving the blue tick on Instagram?
That's a good question. I kind of liked the hub when we went away. That we grew so much closer as a group, and we were obviously on a winning streak at that point in time. So, yeah, the vibes were just high, and I feel like, the connection as a group just grew. So that's probably my highlight.
And still in your third year, so really early in career still, you've had a change of coach as well. So how's it been adapting to that as a young player from Trent Cooper?
Yeah, so good. So Webby was our backline coach my first year. So most of us already knew what she was like as a coach, but I've valued Coops a lot. I got along with him, so he was really good. And Webby's just adapted so well to us girls. Like, she has that really good relationship with all players, and she kind of feels like your friend but coach on game day and trainings and stuff. So it's a really good balance.
Yeah, that'd be like a really important thing in a professional environment, having that friend connection with your coach as well as like the professional coach, because at times you're like, oh shit, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the coach. He might not play me this week, or she might not play me this week.
Yeah.
But then having that relationship like that must be really important.
Yeah.
So and I think from seeing a couple of the girls, they clearly love Webby before she was coach as well. So there was that relationship pre-coach.
Yeah.
We were talking off air, Maggie McLaughlin.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. She clearly had a big relationship with her before Freo as well. So clearly that's what you guys have been wanting, and that's what you got.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing out there to Coops. You girls and guys clearly have a lot of interaction, I guess, as well these days on the training track at the club. Two squads.
Our Thursdays, the last few years we've trained during the day on Thursdays, not at night, so that's been really good. So we kind of cross over with the men's team as well, which is nice, and create that club culture. So hopefully we keep doing that going forward.
Doig medal tonight as well.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your prediction? I mean, probably Caleb Sarong's the obvious one.
I reckon Hayden Young will get up there.
Yeah.
I actually think Caleb Strong could win the Brownlow.
Yeah, he might be top
I
five.
actually think he is a very good chance.
I don't know about winning it, but
but
top five maybe, or somewhere around there.
He's only got Andy to steal votes off.
Yeah. So you how long would you say it takes to get ready for a Doig medal or a night like that?
It's 10:20 now.
Very grateful you've even given us time, considering it's tonight.
I turned last night, if you can't tell. I'm pretty quick actually. I'm not one that really goes full out on a Doig night, but probably like an hour.
That's decent.
That's pretty reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say so.
I know some girls would take at least 2 hours for a
I
best and
reckon
fairest
some of them would take days. Not days, but like obviously you're preparing for it and stuff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
My girlfriend definitely takes 2 hours, I reckon.
Yeah,
for a best and
so
fairest night.
it's decent.
Take that.
You crossed over from Swans to play for East Perth, where your dad played.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about that in round one this year, and you had a bit of an injury scare.
Yeah, so East Perth reached out to me because it was their first year of the league. And I knew a few coaches there. And obviously I just wanted to follow my dad's pathway as well. So I think he played 49 games for East Perth. I just thought I would be a mentor as such, and then hopefully sneak a few games in if I was cleared. My first game in the second quarter, I did my syndesmosis, so that ended pretty quickly. But it's good to see that all waffle clubs are now introducing women's women's teams, which is
I think Perth's
Perth
not
are
far
coming in
away.
next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
next year over there. So good to see. Is there any like rules when it comes to AFLW players playing waffle footy? Because I swear sometimes there's just hardly any out there. I'm assuming that's because you girls want to rest.
Yeah, well, you can decide for yourself if you want to go back or not, or if like you're coming back from injury, they might rest you and say there's no point. Or if you miss out on the season, they'll be like, "Oh, get a few games in, and just see where you're at, get your game fitness up and stuff like that." So it's really if you're cleared or if you want to.
I guess while we're on that topic, what's it like having the 2 seasons in completely different parts of the year? Like Waffle W finished in July, I think it was, or June. Yeah. And AFLW's only just started 3 weeks ago. Like the seasons don't overlap. So it's not like if you're not playing in the one side, you can't go down and play 2 because there's no footy on.
Yeah, that actually is a really good point. Like, how would you feel if you're like a fresh draftee and you can only train?
Yeah, before I got drafted, they did have it lined up.
Yeah,
so if you,
it's only just changed when they moved it back.
Yeah, so if you didn't get picked, you could play waffle, which was good. But yeah, ever since I've been drafted, they've changed it, which kind of sucks. But, non-playing players now play scrimmages, so you link up with the opposition and play.
Right, so it's like what they used to do in the hub.
Yeah,
unofficial
game. Have you seen like the improvement of the AFLW comp, like even from a player's point of view in the 2 or 3, I'd say 3 seasons, but this is your 3rd season. Have you seen like the improvement of the comp lift in your opinion, AFLW?
Yeah, definitely. I think from my first game, just even like game plan and ball movement and stuff like that, we're actually like lots of target hitting and stuff like that, where I think when AFL Women's first started, it was more just like kick it long and stuff like that. So you can really see the ball movement and skills like improve this year, which is great. Yeah.
And probably, crowd support's probably like always been there, but improvement in that as well. What would you say goals are for the rest of the year?
Goals.
Either team or individual or both?
To make finals.
Yes.
Probably. And obviously the big one, win the flag. But to make finals this year, obviously the last 2 seasons we've fell quite short. So that's our main priority, I think, just to get into the top 8 and then go from there.
Is there a bit of, it sounds a stupid question, is there a bit of rivalry with the Eagles girls? Because there would be, but like, a lot of them, you guys would be crossover with Waffle W, and a lot have played for both teams. So is there a bit of a I don't know, obviously there is when you verse each other, but Eagle W girls.
There's always that rivalry, but we're actually really close off field. I've got Amy Franklin. I'm close to the off field. I did stay with her.
This her first year over there?
Second.
Yeah,
so I went through state academy with her, and then obviously she was at Freo, then went to West Coast, and people like Jade Britton and Bella Lewis, like we're all friends off field. Like in the off season we catch up, but then once you step on the footy field, it's kind of,
especially a lot of the senior girls who have been there since day one in AFLW would have all played at Freo, and then obviously some of them have gone over to West Coast. So it wouldn't be like the men's where, especially back in the day when they all used to hate each other. But you've all gone through all the same journey together over the last 7 years or whatever. For you, 5 years have only played footy in 2020 and somehow playing at the top level, which is crazy to think. Q&As?
Yeah, Q&A. We'll go to
Actually, I was gonna say something as well about the state of the game. After seeing some junior games this year, there is a lot of good talent coming through. So the game is in very good hands moving forward. All right, questions at Bray Ethan. Tub, comma.
I think it's a dot.
It has to be a dot.
Yeah, I don't think.
Who if it's a comma in their username?
Yeah.
MB08. Come back to. I'm assuming this is Darling Range Sporting College.
Yeah.
It says come back.
Come back.
Well, you're getting your teaching degree. You could go back.
When I first moved to Perth, I did a traineeship with AFL Sports Ready, at Darling Range, I was there. Must have been one of my old students.
Yeah.
Could go back though.
Yeah. _ Max Saar. Who's the better footballer in the relationship? Question mark.
Totally different players. So I'll stay humble with that.
Sure, that's your partner?
Yeah.
What does he play?
He's
Subi.
Subi, is he?
Plays in the back line.
So you're both playing at Leaderville for 2 different clubs in the waffle.
Yeah. Rivalry.
Matthew Wedgelow.
Yeah.
Another Darling Range. Favourite Darling Range student?
Oh, I can't say that.
Yeah.
This was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
No comment.
Any late ones?
Nah, that's it. A few couple Darling Range ones, but
Yeah.
that's it. We'll go to the quiz.
Question number 1. I hope you haven't seen any of that.
I haven't studied for this, by the way.
Well, it's the same first question every week. It's
How are
obviously
you with
just a different
stats? Do you?
side.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to look at your stats after the game, but do you feel like you go well in this?
No, I'm not really a stats person, to be honest.
Don't care.
So if you ask me about my stats, I probably have no idea.
Okay. They're pretty recent though, as we said off air. So we'll try.
There's no basketball questions.
There's no
That's a
basketball
hint.
questions.
They're all footy questions. Question number 1. What is your height on the Waffle W website?
Well, AFLW.
Sorry, AFL. Just saying
That's
Waffle.
a good point though. It's actually as you'd expect it because they probably haven't updated. It's different. But AFLW website. What's your height?
166 or 165.
7.
Oh,
It's 65 on the
upgraded.
waffle one.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How? Oh,
But
they
they-
haven't done Waffle since year at Swans, maybe in 2021.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 0 from 1.
All right. Question number 2. Your top disposal count ever in AFLW came against Sydney last year. How many disposals did you have?
That was the last game, I know that. 18 plus, I'm going to say.
Yeah, you're
But-
correct, but we need a number. It is 18 plus.
20.
24.
24.
Okay.
0
Talking
from
yourself
2.
down.
Okay.
That's a handy game, 24, and the shorter games that you guys play. Question number 3. Ethan's just changing
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
What position did you finish in Freo's AFLW Best and Fairest in 2023? So if you remember, might have been a couple
I
of
can't really remember
few
that.
champagnes deep at that point.
I feel like we need to give a hint. It was in the top 10. So
I think I remember seeing my name on the board, but I can't remember. It wasn't in the top 5. I'd say.
Yeah, so we'll give you that hint as well, correct?
8th or 9th?
One of them.
9th.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you nodded your head to 9.
0 from 3. I need to
How
get
many
a number
questions
now.
are
We
there?
got 10, but there's 14 points
Alright,
up for
7.
grabs.
All right. Question
There's
number
still 11
4.
points up for grabs.
You're versing Melbourne this coming weekend. Freo hasn't beaten Melbourne since what year? In AFLW.
I haven't beaten Melbourne 2019.
21.
Oh,
I was gonna when you said you haven't beaten them, I was like, yeah, just draft year. Question number 5. As mentioned, you before you polled coaches' votes in your second AFLW game. How many did you poll in that game?
So the max you can get is 10.
8.
5. How does coaches' votes work? I actually don't
know.
understand.
No,
They're
so-
different for every game. Like
So
there could be 2 people with 8 or 10 votes, and then the next game the top might be only 8 points.
I think it's just both coaches get, point. Yeah, I don't know,
just
but
doesn't
10
make
is
sense
10
to
is the
me.
most you can get, and then it goes down from there.
Right.
0 for 5, unfortunately. But
This is you can get 50% on this question.
all right,
There's only 2 answers.
true or false? Your fantasy score of 76 on the weekend individually against Port was the highest of your career. True or false?
True.
Correct. We're on the
Yes.
board. One
from
Can I have
6.
more true or false, please?
Probably not.
We'll see,
Question
yeah.
number 7. As it stands, you personally have played more home games. As it stands, have you played more home or away games personally in your career at Freo?
Away.
Well, probably technically, but it's home. You played 17 home, 16 away, but the hub,
The hub, yeah.
technically it's away, but technically if you're listed as
Oh,
the
that
home
is
team-
true.
Oh,
Nah, well, I feel like we have to give a quick. I didn't think of that at all.
Yeah.
So
I thought about that straight away.
It's not at home, but it's
He's hardly played a game in Perth that year.
We'll give it. We'll give it.
Yeah.
Two from 7. Question number 8.
How many of these 17 home games have been at Fremantle Oval? But then this kind of defeats. Forget the hub.
Yeah.
We're talking about in Perth home games. You've played 17 home games in Perth. How many of them have been at Fremantle Oval?
15.
Correct.
2 it up this.
Yep.
3 from 8.
3 from 8.
Question number 9. Who wore the number 8 at Freo before you?
Evie Gooch.
Correct.
I need 50% here.
Well, you can get 5 points now. We've already got 4.
Get up
So
to
we
9.
can go up to 9 if you bang on. Just depends how good you know the club now. This is a club question.
So 5 points if you bang on, 4 points if you're within 3, 3 if you're within 5, 2 if you're within 10, and a point for otherwise. So you'll finish on 5 regardless, at least. What is Freo's current AFLW percentage? So you guys sit 8th on the ladder.
112.
You're within 10. It's 120%.
Oh, 120.
So you're within 10, so 2 points. So that takes you up to
6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, we're on 4. So
Just under 6 out of 14.
that's a good guess. Percentages, like who the heck?
That's hard.
Let's be real. Who actually looks at the percentage when you're just looking at the ladder, unless you're on the same points as the other teams? Like,
Well, I could have said what position on the ladder are you, but that probably would be too easy.
could have changed from last night.
Well, I said 8th. I just said it then.
Could have changed from last night.
Yeah.
True.
There's obviously game. Is there a game tonight?
Yeah.
So it's just Mondays at the moment. We're not going to have a game of footy at all.
Do you stay in
Crazy.
do you watch other AFLW games, or now that you're in it, you're maybe not as much into footy, or do you still follow the comp really closely and watch other games?
Yeah, I still follow footy and watch AFLW. Yeah, I don't watch anything else. Just AFLW.
You're a sports lover. Just watch sport.
I didn't really watch basketball much. I just played it, but yeah, I'd always watch footy, like men's, when it was on. Yeah.
It's probably good because I was going to ask who's your favourite basketball player. And you might not be able to answer it. Well, you probably would have been able to answer it, but
Bryce Cotton.
maybe not in depth.
Mm.
But 6 out of 14.
Not horrible.
It's not horrible. It's less
not
than
the
50%. But considering how you started,
True.
you'd almost take, if you said after 5 questions when we were 0 from 5, that you
6
finished
is a
with
very
6.
good result.
I would say that probably, would have been overs. So
Because who was it? Was it Bubba a couple of weeks ago? I think he was, let's say, 2 from 3, and then only ended up with 6.
yeah. Sometimes people start well, finish bad, and then vice versa.
That's a good comeback.
So yeah.
You will take that. Well, of course, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, vice versa, whatever it is, you can watch on either, listen on either. Subscribe, 5-star rating, like, would be much appreciated. Helps us out a lot. Of course, powered by Pegs. It is open to everyone. Don't have to be a uni or TAFE student anymore. Get on it, sign up, and get discounts galore. It's very, very nice. But Dana, thanks for coming in. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Enjoy the Doig medal tonight at the time of recording.
Don't have too many drinks.
Yeah, you got to
Be
play.
on the
You gotta
waters.
play. That's actually a good. Yeah, I was going to say it's probably going to treat it like you're at the best and fairest night for the Brownlow or something, and
Yeah.
got to play in the grand final in a couple of days'
Yeah.
time. You won't be able to enjoy yourself like you probably
Just the
have before.
waters.
Yeah. Well, we'll enjoy it. All the best against the Demons and the rest of the year. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.